Hey there, welcome back to Coding at Home. Hey, welcome back to Coding at Home with the Code Hub. That was a big week last week, all that WWDC stuff. We had a great time playing with Swan's Quest. I took a look at Chapter 4 on Friday night and played with it a little bit over the weekend. We'll go over it today. I don't know that we're quite 100% ready to teach this one in class. I'll show you to you. I'll show you where to get the code if you want to try it out yourself and play around with the musical notes. And then what I decided we're going to do is come back, finish off the augmented reality playground, and then we'll move on to Sonic Workshop, which is very like the Lights Camera Code playgrounds that we worked with. They're really well written. They explain some of the features that we used during the week this week for Swan's Quest, and I think that it'll make things a little bit clearer. And we're also playing with sound, which we can always, I can always learn a lot about anyway. And hopefully, if that's more your thing, then it'll be entertaining and right up your alley. All right, so let's go over to the iPad and let's check out Swan's Quest Chapter 4. All right, so here we go. I've got Swan's Quest Chapter 4. Again, if you're just joining us because maybe you missed last week, what we did last week was we walked through the WWDC playgrounds. They're all available here on the developer app. So I'm going to close that one down. I'm in the collections. So when you open up the developer app on the iPad, what you'll see is this over here on the left. And if you tap into collections, there's a new collection for WWDC 20. So we'll tap on that. And then we'll have a list of all the different sections. So we can go look into design a little bit more. It'll show you the design sessions. Designing for iPad, for app clips, watchOS design, photo kit, some other kind of hardcore stuff, modern networking. This is the one we were taking a look at. Take Swift Playgrounds to the next level. So if we tap on that, we can see all these in here. We can build a Swift UI view in Swift Playgrounds, and maybe we'll play around with that a little bit. Maybe sometime this week if we get done with the augmented reality stuff. Talk to us about creating Swift Playgrounds content for iPad and Mac. And I showed you the playground that they demoed during that, where they you could change the skin color of your turtle hero from Swan's Quest. And then we have this one, Explore Swan's Quest. And this was a series of 4 chapters. So chapter 1 was Voices in the Dark. We looked into accessibility and adding labels that would be spoken when someone had voiceover turned on. So maybe if they for whatever reason, couldn't see the screen, this would help them as they move their finger around the screen. It would speak out the different elements you were over. Chapter 2 took a huge jump up and started to talk about dispatch queues and timers, and it got a little bit more hardcore for our taste. Now we'll see some of that stuff, like closures we talked about very briefly, in Sonic, the Sonic Create and Sonic Quest playgrounds, which we'll probably get to next. I think that'll be an interesting one to explore. Chapter 3, we looked at enums and protocols. And then chapter 4, we went more all in on enums and protocols. So you can get each one of these. If you tap into each one, let's say we go to chapter 4. If we tap on the this thing down here, we can see that we get the overview of the playground, what they intend to teach during this session, the transcript of it, which is very useful, and then the code that they show on screen at any given point. And if you tap on the code, it'll actually jump to that point of the video. So we can see at 3:38, they talked about the MIDI note protocol and the track protocol. And if you go back to overview, you'll see that you can search the forums for discussions about that particular session or about Swan's Quest as a whole. And then you have 2 downloads here. Now you can download them from this link here and add them to files and then uncompress them because they're all zipped up in a package that can't be used by Swift Playgrounds out of the box. You can uncompress them and then use them in Swift Playgrounds. Or what we did was, if you go to Safari on your iPad, we set up a page here. So we have our the codehub.ie/playgrounds page already. So you would go to that page. And at the beginning of all of these sessions, we had you go and subscribe to our Playground feed where we had the turtle graphics and we had the text adventure playground and we had the app at home playground available. Well, now we added a new feed for WWDC. And when you tap on that button, it brings you to more playgrounds. It asks you if you want to subscribe to the Code Hub Swift Playgrounds from WWDC feed. We say subscribe. It's going to tell me I'm already subscribed. But that'll add it to the bottom of your list of playground subscriptions. And you'll see this here. So we have the WWDC Quest Create, Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4, and then Color Quest. And Color Quest is the one where we change the skin color of the turtle, and we could alter the appearance of the turtle. And we'll look at that a little bit later today. So for Chapter 4, I'm not going to walk us through it today. I don't think it's useful in terms of teaching. I think it's a great exercise, and it's a really cool result. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what we did over the weekend a little bit. And then if you want, I'm going to add the links to the code that I added so that you can basically just copy and paste it into your own Swift Playground and try it out. So I'm going to tap on, this is my Chapter 4 that I've got. I'm going to go back to Advice from the Lizard. So we have a new source file that we have to edit for this one, Sequencer. And we have a new protocol defined called MIDI Note Protocol. There's a MIDI code. I don't know enough about MIDI, which is a music format, to give you a whole lot more information on this. But the video is well worth watching, and the guys go through a lot of this code really well. So most of this has been written for us. In fact, I think all of this has been written for us, except for this part here, where we have to build a struct, which is just a type, if you recall from Everyone Can Code Puzzles, called track, and it conforms to the track protocol. And it has an instrument property, a length property, and then an array of notes. It would help if I don't tap and obscure it here. It's just an array of MIDI notes. And here's our initializer for it. So we pass in an instrument kind and the length. And then we can access, there's a function on our track type called note. And we can ask for it for a certain frame. We wind up using this in the main. So if we go back to main.swift here, we can see we use this play instrument function. And we pass it an electric guitar type, and we give it this note, just one note here. So let's hit run my code, and we'll look at this one. I'll briefly show you the performance at Swan Hall. I won't ruin it for you by playing it all the way through. But here, we'll press play. And we go back to meet the lizard. And we have a bunch of instruments in the chest. Here's our scroll that we're going to play off of. Okay, so it's multi-part harmony. We have to play 2 different instruments simultaneously to pass this challenge. So the lizard said we're going to need a different magic to pull this off, so we should build a step sequencer. That'll keep our timing loop simple. So we took out that old timer code that we had before, where we divided the notes and all that kind of fun stuff. We've taken that out from the Chapter 3 code that we wrote, and we're going to be able to use their own code. Okay, so if we go through, we have, if we look in sequencer.swift, there's a new formula for track called track protocol. We had to build the track type. So we're going to need at least 2 for the swan song. So in the timer loop, iterate over each of your tracks to play the note for its assigned instrument. Speaking on notes, I have a different type for this challenge. So we have this MIDI note enum that they built. And we can play a track's instrument with the following spell. Play instrument, dot piano, note, MIDI note C2. And then we have to remember that he reminds us to call in performance when we're writing our code for the Swans challenge. Okay, so in this case, we're not building the timer just yet, because we're gonna save that for the Swans challenge. And then right here we can see, just like with any of the other ones, we have electric guitar chosen. If I delete that, we can see that I have lots of different instruments I can pick from. Here, let's use piano this time. And if we hit now, I have to hit run my code because I changed the code. All right, I'll hit play. We'll tap through these again, the instructions. Yep, timing loop simple, yep. Play the instrument. Okay, now let's try playing it. Okay, not very exciting, but I got sound out of the device. So that's good, so now I'm ready to move on and perform at Swan Hall. Now, this code is going to be the same, the sequencer code. This main.swift is where we actually change it. So sequencer is the same because we define the track protocol. And they've set up all of these for us, the treble notes and the bass notes. And we have to write the code in here. So I'm going to make this code available. I don't think it's worth going over in terms of like a teaching thing. I think it's interesting. It sounds nice when we actually play it, but I don't know that we're going to actually learn, and we're not ready to learn this stuff just yet. So we're going to close out of this. So that's Swan's Quest. It's definitely worth doing. You get a little kind of hero animation at the end when you do complete it and you play the song right. You should be able to do that because you just be able to copy and paste the code. I'm going to have the code available here. In fact, I already have the code available here. If I go to the Code Hub, we have a news section. And in the news section, I typically write about each day's session. So we have this here. This is, in fact, is today's. We have our special WWDC feed, the first chapter. I have a link to the code online. So you can actually just tap on that. You go off to GitHub. And you can see that this is where you would put the code for the advice screen when you're talking to the lizard in the main file. And then when you're on the performance page, this is the code you would put inside main.swift. And then this is the code you would put inside the sequencer. So most of that's already written. Really, the big addition is this, the track. So that's it. That's going to be our Swan's Quest. I think it's a lot of copying and pasting, even for me. So I don't know that it's super useful, that we'll learn a lot from it. But it was a great challenge. I think it's a really fun set of playgrounds that they've created, and we'll definitely be playing around with the Swan's Quest or the Quest Create playground in the future, because I for sure want to build my own game in Swift Playgrounds that looks and feels a bit like Swan's Quest. All right, so one of the useful things we did do last week was when we were in Playgrounds, we had downloaded this Color Quest playground. So that was from, if we go here, go to See All, go down to the bottom, down to our playground feed. It's the last playground in our feed. It's this Color Quest at the end, so I'm going to get that again. So this is kind of our last goodbye to Swan's Quest and the characters therein. So we'll tap on our new playground, came from a third party. We're sure we want to open it. All right, and if we run our code, we'll see the turtle. There it is. We can save this turtle. We can view it in AR. But one thing I was thinking is, oh, it'd be great to use this in Reality Composer. Never mind AR in Swift Playgrounds. Although it's great that we can do that. So let's change. I'm going to change the color of the turtle skin just so that we have our own customized turtle. And you remember we can do that with one of these. Change turtle belly, change turtle eyes, change turtle skin. Let's do change turtle skin to, we'll pick a color here. Make it that kind of dark orange. And we'll run it. Okay, not bad. Maybe one last bit of customization. I'll change the dark area to another UI color. Make it even darker. Okay, all right. He's looking kind of cool now. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this turtle as a photo. So I'll hit save. It asks if I want to give access to photos, and yeah, I do, because I want to save it to my photos. Now what I'm going to do is I want to be able to drag this into Reality Composer. And I thought that I couldn't do this on the iPad. And Paul Hamilton, who's a great teacher in Australia, he uses a lot of iPad stuff and a lot of Reality Composer stuff. He had a little video that showed off how he did it. So what I would do first is I have in my dock down here, I have the Photos app open, or the Photos app available. So that's looking good. If I close out of that, and then I go open up Reality Composer, now I have both of those in my dock. So what we're going to do is back out, and we're going to create a new project. So I've got Reality Composer open. I've got photos in my dock. I'm going to hit the plus button up here to create a new project. I'm just going to pick horizontal. Or actually, you know what? We haven't done vertical yet. Let's do vertical. See if we can get it on the wall. We'll leave the shelf there. But I'm going to select that one to edit, and I'm actually going to delete that. So I'll tap it twice, and I'll say delete. Now, if I want to add an object, what I was looking for was I wanted to hit this plus button before and be able to add an image in here. And I wasn't able to see how I could do it. So, and I was digging around. I couldn't figure out how to add images to this easily. So what I saw Paul do was he dragged up from the bottom. He went down to the bottom of the screen and just dragged up with one finger. And then your dock appears. And now this is why we opened up photos before, because now we can see photos in the dock. We can't if I move my finger around. But I can tap and hold. Actually, I can tap and drag off of here. And now if I drag over to the side of the screen, I should have them side by side now on my iPad. Now, if you don't, we can try that one again. If I just hit the home button, I go back and I clear both of them back to the home screen. If I hit the Reality Composer icon and open that up again, I drag up with one finger from the bottom, tap on the photos thing, and drag out to the side. And now I have access to my photos. So now I can say, all right, well, let me take that latest guy that I grabbed. I'm going to take him. And I'm going to drag him onto my scene. Cool, now I've got my turtle in augmented reality. Now the way Paul did this was a little different because you can see that maybe this isn't what I want. And let's try previewing it. Let's try this out. So we're going to tap on move that over there. I'm going to hit AR. shows up. Maybe not. All right, I'm going to go out for a second to get rid of the photos. I'm going to come back in. Now we're going to try AR. All right, there we go. We're moving the iPad to start. There's the table. Maybe we should just use the table, but we're trying it out. There's our little influencer light. All right, I'm not able to detect it, so let's change it. So let's try a horizontal surface. All right, so there, we're gonna put our turtle image right on the desk when we find it. And in fact, because we're doing this, oh, there we go. All right, so we're right next to the Mac. Not looking bad. We have our shelf there left over from our vertical demo. Now the one problem with this is that my turtle has a fully black background, so I can just see the square. I might want to fix that by making it a bit more transparent. So what Paul does in his demonstration is he goes off to Keynote. So we're going to go off to Keynote because it's a brilliant tool. So if you don't have it, it's a free download on the App Store. Off to Keynote, this is our ARKit image targets. I'm going to actually add a new slide here by hitting the plus button at the bottom. We'll just make it blank. And now I'm going to add my turtle image to this page. So I'm going to hit the plus button. I'm going to add a photo or video, so I'll tap on the photo or video. And then pick recents. Actually, I'm going to pick this one. I like this one here. So there, we've just imported this guy in here. We'll make it a little bit bigger. If I go select my choice here, my little paintbrush, I can now change some of this to be transparent by hitting this instant alpha button. And I can drag across colors to make it transparent. So I can just drag across there, and then tap on the black and drag across there, tap on the black, drag across there. Okay, cool. And then we'll hit done when we're done. So I've made the background transparent. It's no longer going to have that black background. But if I export this as an image, it will still have white background. So what I need to do now is tap on the background. And if I tap on the paintbrush, once I've deselected the turtle, I'll have a background option here. And I can change that to no fill. So now I have my black background back, but that's because it's transparent. So now I can export this. So to export this, I should have shown you. I went up to the three dots up here in the upper right hand corner. I picked export. And I'm going to export images. You have to export it as PNG because that includes transparent information in there. JPEG doesn't. You have to make sure that transparent backgrounds is ticked, yes. And in fact, if I pick JPEG, you'll see that transparent backgrounds go off. I'm going to pick a slide range of only my last one because those other ones I'll do later. I'll go back to image options and I'll hit export. So now I can just hit save image. And now that I've saved that image, I can go, it should show up in my photos library, and let's just check on that. Let's tap on photos. Well, there it is. It doesn't look like it's got a transparent background. Oh, it does. Okay, great. Cool. Let's see if it's really got a transparent background by opening up Reality Composer. We're going to delete this one. So I just tapped on my existing turtle and deleted it. I'm going to actually close this. I don't want to do AR yet. I'm going to get rid of the shelf because we're not doing a vertical anchor. And now I want to do the same trick, drag up with one finger from the bottom, press and hold on the photos and drag it over to the side. And now I want to drag out my latest image onto the scene. All right, cool. We'll get rid of that guy. Nope, that doesn't work. All right, here we go. Now we'll turn on AR. Actually, what I'm going to do is get rid of that. The only way I know how to get rid of that, I'm sure there's a better way, is to just go back to the home and then open up Reality Composer again. Now if I turn on AR, if I crash, I gotta reopen Reality Composer and open up my new project. It's open. Hit AR. Move the iPad around. And then we'll hit play to see it in place. Oh, that's way cooler. So now I've got my own creation from Color Create output right here on my desk. Kind of cool. So that was a useful tip I saw from Paul over the weekend that I thought was pretty useful and would finally get us to have images inside of our augmented reality. I'm not sure it works with... Well, do you know what? Let's try it out. Let's try out a video. Just a quick video. Oh, I'm gonna move that. Oh, a very exciting video of a lamp and a keyboard. Just a nice short 5-second video. We're going to try it again by opening up Reality Composer. We're going to go into our new project. I'm going to drag up from the bottom and then bring out my photos. Sometimes it takes a little bit to tear it away. So here's my video. I'm going to try dragging that out. It's not going away. All right, so look, I don't see the video having been added there. Let's try it one more time. So it doesn't support videos, but it does support images. So that's a huge win and a big step up. So that's in the Color Create. So if you want to monkey around with that, work on your turtle, design your turtle. You can look at it in AR here, and then you can also say, do you know what? I'm also going to add it to one of my scenes in Reality Composer, and then it can become like one of the dominoes that we've used, or a marble, or some kind of projectile. Kind of useful. So now we can create our own images in Keynote or using one of these playgrounds, and add those images to our scenes in Reality Composer. So that was it. That was Swan's Quest. That was our final goodbye to the turtle. I'm not even sure the turtle has a name, but that's a final goodbye to our turtle. Tomorrow, when we come back, we're going to look at the augmented reality playground again. We did distance events last time. We're going to look at completion handlers a little bit, and then making use of the camera and making a scene. And then we're going to move on to the Sonic playgrounds. I hope you enjoyed last week. I hope you found some of the sessions we did useful with the Swan's Quest. My personal favorite for sure was Swan's Quest Chapter 1. I thought the accessibility stuff was a real eye-opener and a real good reminder that we should make our stuff as accessible as possible. And we'll see you tomorrow for some augmented reality.